It's the end of an era.
All that spare change I used to get.
Sorry, I spilled Bud Light on you.
I wrote a song. Sorry. Here we go.
The crisp, refreshing taste of Bud Light. Here we go.
The Jeff Fisher Show, brought to you by Bud Light, Buffalo Wild Wings, Super Park, and Dobbs Tire and Auto.
Hey, good Monday evening to you. We're live at the Buffalo Wild Wings in Creve Coeur, as we are every Monday night with the Jeff Fisher Show. Thanks for turning out. We appreciate it. Alongside DeMarco Farr, I'm Steve Savard. We'll be joined by Jeff Fisher in the next segment. You tell me what's going on.
I'm happy to see you.
I'm happy to see you.
I had to say goodbye to Candlestick on my own.
I have so many fond memories of that dilapidated, awful, outdated building.
Can we just show them what Candlestick looks like for us?
It's a visual at home. We're on
like
top
that.
of each other.
That's how tight the booth is.
We're on
Yes.
top of each other.
Yes.
And then you have to understand there's the greenhouse effect. It's all windows. And if it's 40 degrees and the sun's shining, we lose about 20 pounds during it. But enough about our trials and tribulations.
What'd you
It's
think?
not about us.
Yeah.
It's about the product in the field. Weird one for me. First time in 14 years not at the game, calling the game. Very difficult. I could vent. But it didn't feel good to vent.
Which part?
It didn't feel good to vent. Well, number one, I thought the tone was established early in the game. The 2 3-and-outs on offense in the first quarter really hurt for a number of reasons. Number one, it kind of set the tone for San Francisco's offense. And two, I started to feel like even in the second quarter, the time of possession, the time on the field the Rams defense spent would catch up to them.
Yeah,
and
eventually.
it did to a certain degree. Now, minus the gift-wrap field position after the fake punt, the Rams, say what you want, held the 49ers on their home turf to 16 points.
Pretty impressive.
I'm okay with that. You might have
impressive.
given up some yardage in the passing game. The bottom line is what the scoreboard says, and the defense gave you a chance to win that game.
True. I think that's how Jim Harbaugh probably wanted to win that game, though. Keep you on the field and just wear you out and absolutely win it in the fourth quarter. Points be darned, what they are. But, yeah, I mean, you ever been out there as a part of a defense that's caught on the field and you just can't get off, especially in December, late November. You're going to be tired. You're going to be worn out. When they don't make mistakes and you keep making mistakes and you keep giving them third downs, the shocking thing about me, Steve, and Doc Weiner let me know this right after the game, the average third down for the 49ers was 9.5 yards. It's not like the Rams were getting killed. They put them in bad situations, except Anquan Bolden time and time again made plays and kept the offense on the field. It was just one play here or there that kept that drive or drives too long, and then next thing you know, you're in the end zone and you couldn't stop them.
Anquan Bolden, for a fifth-round draft pick, might turn out to be one of the great steals of all time in the National Football League. And I know that we're enamored with, first of all, the fact that we're enamored with 40 times and breakaway speed and everything else. That's the reason why Bolden wasn't a first-round pick coming out of Florida State. Go back to his college days, and you watch him play. He was the most dominant guy on the field every week. Sometimes we overthink things.
Absolutely.
There's a guy who may not make the Hall of Fame, but he's going to be on that next tier of guys.
He's in mine. He's in ours. He's kicked our butts more time than not. Every time we see him, it's the same situation.
Well, I just think it's so valuable to have a guy, a quarterback, knows he can throw to an area, not a precise window, throw to an area. The guy's big enough, strong enough, has great hands, runs great routes. He's going to make the play, and he's going to move the chain.
The problem with that is what he gives you can't measure at the combine. That's it.
But you should be able to, I understand this. And there's nothing wrong with being a second-round pick, but I'm just saying there are a lot of teams who have rued the day that they passed on him in the first round. And my point is that if you're scouting and if you're paying guys to be scouts of your football team, and this applies to all teams, you should be able to take what you see on the field, particularly at a school like Florida State where you're playing at the highest level, and see how that and estimate how that translates to the NFL regardless. Now, if the 40 times 5 flat for a wide receiver, that's different. But if it's a tenth of a second less than you expected, go ahead and put that in perspective with what the guy's done against the best competition in football.
Try to remember that this April when we're drafting. You know what I mean? Because that's what's coming up. Hopefully he's out there. But he was just dynamic. He really gave them a chance to win. And this is the question we've been trying to ask and answer, since Sunday. Is it the way the corners are playing or the way they're being played? That's what we don't know. That's the situation right now. I think, look, you got to remember, and I told people, Janoris Jenkins or Anquan Bolden and Michael Crabtree have more career touchdown passes than those guys have starts. You know, this is a group of corners that's learning. They're learning on the job. They're not finished products yet, so that's a learning deal. Anquan Bolden and that guy coming back, Crabtree, a healthy Crabtree, is supposed to do that to young corners, a young secondary. But is it more of technique? Does that need to improve? The way they're being coached, does that need to be improved, or is it just them? I don't think it's them. I don't think it's their ability. I think Tremaine Johnson and Janoris Jenkins have tremendous ability. I've seen worse corners athletically. We have.
Oh, absolutely.
We've seen them here. We've seen them around the league when the Rams match up with them. It's not that. But clearly, when you get a situation where Anquan Bolden, Michael Crabtree is just coming back and having success, that is an issue. You're getting good pressure. That's never been in doubt. Vernon Davis.
Don't forget Vernon. What was the sack total for the Rams yesterday?
4.
It didn't feel like a 4-sack game watching at home.
Early.
I don't know what it felt like. They got a couple early, but after that, I thought really the San Francisco offensive line, and look, when they lost Joe Staley, I thought, okay, floodgates are going to open here because I think Staley's one of the top 2 or 3 tackles in the game.
It would have been nice.
They were without Yapati.
Yes.
So now you had 3 guys.
You had Boone that stepped in there.
You
had
had 3 guys out of position naturally.
Yeah.
And I got to give San Francisco credit. They held up pretty well against the Rams.
It would have been nice to see Robert Quinn take advantage of the backup, except Kaepernick was getting rid of the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, he had wins on both sides and up the field. And if you did have that all sewed up, he starts taking off and moving.
But you've seen this, and we've noticed that this has become the game plan. This is going to become the norm for teams facing the Rams pass rush. 52 last year. They're among the tops in the league again. Robert Quinn has been unstoppable at times. We saw it with the Bears. We've seen it for several weeks. The quarterback is going to get the ball out quickly. You're not going to sit there in 5-step drops very often and expect the quarterback to hold up against the Rams pass rush. That's just the way that teams are going to play the Rams the rest of the year.
And think about what we're about to see next week in Arizona, because Michael Floyd all of a sudden has woken up and decided to become a star. They still have Fitzgerald and Carson Palmer look pretty darn good.
But I think they're more inclined to say we want to hit the home run through the air, and they're more inclined. I think there'll be more opportunities for a couple of reasons against Palmer. Number one, because he's not mobile at all, okay? He's almost a sitting target back there. But 2, Arizona likes the big arm Palmer brings, and I think they will sit in the pocket a little longer and try to let plays develop down the field.
We'll see. Tip of the cap, I'll say this. With Crabtree coming back, I think you can add San Francisco to the mix in the NFC.
Oh, I don't think there's any question about it. Now, it might take him – you figure he's got 4 weeks to get up to speed for the playoffs. But if he's there, and I said this when they acquired Bolden, think about this. Last year, Crabtree was playing late in the season like a true number 1. He was a beast. Vernon Davis is a matchup nightmare, okay? And then now you slide in Anquan Bolden.
Yes.
I mean,
it's pretty dangerous.
If with Crabtree there, the 9 or 10 catch game for Bolden could become the norm. 10 for 100, 10 for 110, 120.
And that defense is really starting to ramp up. So, yeah, that was, it's like you said, 16 points at one point. That's something to be proud of, but not good enough to win.
I did like the Rams' run defense yesterday.
Yeah, they really constricted Frank Gore. You know, Frank Gore's had he's had career days against the Rams.
I'm familiar.
Picking and hunting and pecking, there he goes. I mean, they really constricted the holes. Jolon Dunbar, James Laurinaitis played their toughest football game that I can remember. I mean, they were really absolute physical. No longer like catcher's mitts. Let me run you over and you get 2 yards just on extra effort. These guys were really banging yesterday. And up front, Michael Brockers finally played like the big man that he is.
Oh, yeah, got a couple of sacks early. He was tough to handle. Yeah. What did you think of Dunbar's penalty on the slide?
You know, I mean, we were talking about this earlier. I think we put too much on the officials. They're thinking about way too much. They have to worry about their zone, their area, their normal rule infractions, and now they have to decide between intent of a guy. Jolon Dunbar is guilty of one thing, being aggressive. He ducked the head. He didn't hit anything. We saw that. We can see it on replay, but since he went like he was going to try to take his head off, throw the flag. It's one of those things.
I think the league is erring because it wants, in certain situations, no gray area.
Yeah.
I think if you're going to have a guy be an NFL referee, you have to count on him having common sense and weed out the call from the non-call. Unfortunately, the NFL, when it comes to collisions, wants all that weeded out, wants it black and white. Okay, well, it's not really a black and white game.
Well, Steve, they may be the best athletes. They may be Marines. They have to be athletic, and they have to be whip smart, and they have to get it right all the time. That's hard.
Yeah, it is hard.
Yeah, that's very hard. You know?
Jeff, that applause is for Rams head coach Jeff Fisher. We'll welcome him in we'll welcome him right now before we take a break. We'll get the introductions out of the way. Jeff, this is DeMarco. I'm Steve. Good to meet you.
It's nice to meet you guys.
Nice to meet you guys.
You guys.
These are your fans?
All right. How's everybody? Good to see you. Good.
We will.
These are win or lose.
Yes.
Fans. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you.
We will
Were they talking bad about me before I got here?
No, of course not. No, we were talking about the officials again.
You can always listen on the radio to find out on your way over.
You guys are on the radio? This is on the radio?
This is on the radio. Jolan Dunbar, I got to ask him right now. Jolan Dunbar, the hit on Kaepernick. Did he touch him? Did he hit him? Did he bang him? What happened?
Did he deserve it?
Did he deserve it?
It shouldn't have been called.
Okay, thank you. Was it just the intent, the way it looked?
Yeah. The official said he hit him in the head.
Did he even make contact with the head?
Touched him in the back,
touched him in the back just a little bit, yeah.
He grazed him.
Yeah.
Well, and I was saying earlier, I think you're on the competition committee. We understand the intent, but now it's at the point where some of these calls they want it black and white, no matter what happened. No common sense figures in anymore. I think that's a dangerous situation.
There's no bright line when it comes to some of those calls. That's the hard part.
No bright line.
Yeah, I mean it's either, it's a false start. It's not a false start. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And those calls, it's just they're told to officiate on the side of player safety and. Quarterbacks get protection when they slide, and if there's contact as he initiates the slide, then that should be a foul. But it needs to be contact, because that wasn't like. You might as well have just taken his flag, right?
Right.
So yeah, I wasn't really pleased with that one. That was a big penalty.
Okay, we'll step aside when we come back. We'll talk in depth about the game, and of course, we'll take your phone calls as well. 969-0101 in Illinois 399-0101. We have some in-house questions we'll take. You can text us at 65780 or tweet us at Rams Radio with the hashtag Fisher Show. Back in a moment on the Jeff Fisher Show on 101 ESPN and the St. Louis Rams Radio Network.
It's the end of an era.
All that spare change I used to get.
Sorry, I spilled Bud Light on you.
I wrote a song. Sorry. Here we go.
The crisp, refreshing taste of Bud Light. Here we go.
Welcome back. We're live as we are every Monday night with Jeff Fisher. Jeff, what was your message to the ball club today after being able to review the tape all four quarters?
It was fairly simple. It was, week after week after week, we are going to play hard and play physical and play fast. And that's how we play. But the last 2 weeks, we also executed very well. We didn't execute as well. We played hard and fast and physical, but we didn't execute. And we had a few issues penalty-wise. But I broke down all the penalties. I mean, it's like we were talking about on the break. Anquan Bolden is a very physical receiver. He comes off the line of scrimmage, and just both hands initiates, and then clubs and catches him on the shoulder pad and the helmet, and Jenks stumbles. So he has a split second decision to make. Do I fall or do I grab him and keep him from scoring a touchdown? So I grabbed him. So now you got defensive holding on the corner and you go, oh, that's an undisciplined cornerback. That's not the case. And that's kind of where how some of these penalties went down, I mean, we talked about the Tremaine penalty. I don't get it. If you watch the TV copy, he does come up and he bumps his helmet with his forearm. He doesn't throw an elbow and he's trying to keep him from getting the first down. But that's how things unfolded. So, back to your question, it was just we need to do a better job executing. 4 first downs the first half offensively.
Yeah,
it's not that gives you does not give you opportunities to get the ball to Tavon and hand the ball to Zach and those kind of things when you can't get first downs. So
defense out there 11 minutes in the first quarter. You did a great job on Frank Gore all day long, but that's a long time for any defense.
Oh yeah, no, they had 38 plays. At some point in 3 drives. That's what it was. They had 3.5 drives the first half. Mm-hmm. The half drive was the one right before, where, we had got the field goal and they kicked off and they were going to hurry up and they decided they got a holding penalty. They just went in. And it was our inability to get off the field on third down, whether it was a penalty or whether it was somebody slipping, Yeah. And, on 3rd and 15 and one of your interior defender slips as he's driving the shallow cross, and Anquan Bolden runs for 16 yards, and then they go ahead and score. They got issues like that. So they're fine. I just told them the same thing I told them last night was, you keep practicing the way you practice and prepare the way you prepare. You're going to win games.
The call on Jolan on Kaepernick sliding in question as well, I would think.
Yes.
But is that just, as Jamarco and I were talking, is that just a a matter of the NFL wants any contact, no matter what? Don't use common sense, just make the call?
Don't think they want that called.
I hope not. I hope not.
But see, what happened was, as he scrambles, as we talked about, the referee's responsibility is the quarterback, and to follow him downfield. And he started to. Bill Vinovich, the referee, started. He was chasing, but he had bodies in front of him. He couldn't see. He had no shot, so he's trusting the opinion of the head linesman. So
I just think that the rule is it's difficult. I don't want to belabor it, but it's difficult. If you put yourself in a defensive player situation, you can't beam yourself out of. You commit to making a play. The best you can do is minimize the contact, and I thought that's exactly what Jolan did on that play.
He did, and when you talk about defensive players, this is the thing. When you got a receiver that's upright and he's making the catch and he's upright, and you hit him in the face, we all get that. You can't do that, okay? But you make the catch, and now you're completing the catch, and you see the defender, and you're going. Now you start moving down, and the defender comes in low, and there's helmet to helmet. That's a foul on the defender because it's his responsibility to avoid contact with the helmet. That's an area that I think needs to be discussed. I think they need to discuss that. If another defender forces, the shoulder and the head of a defenseless receiver down, then I think that needs to be discussed. Guys know the difference between targeting, So anyway, I think
they should
be
know.
something.
Yeah,
they should.
You'd hope.
They do.
You'd hope at this point. When you talk about execution, are we talking about breakdowns of protection or drops?
Just a lot of everything. Drops, protection, just technique things in the run game. Yeah. Get beat inside quick by a quick move by a linebacker. Those kinds of things that we haven't had happen to us over, the two prior games. But, this is a good defense. And this defense healed up, too. Yeah. All right, 52 comes back and 99 comes back. And the Dante Whitner's a really good safety, and Reed's playing good, at safety as well as he's the rookies, and so it's a good defense.
We thought for the most part your offensive line. Dealing with what you had to deal with on game day, you lost your left tackle. What else did you lose? You lost your center. You had to rotate a completely new combination, but the pressure never increased on Kellen Clemens, and the running lanes were for the most part.
They're there. Yeah, we have depth. I thought Timmy Barnes did a really good job in there at center, and Raj jumped out to left tackle and acted like he'd done it before.
Yeah, right.
He played pretty well out there.
Did he?
So, yeah.
Offensively, we were talking in the first segment, you're going to get this a lot now because of your pass rush, because how dominant your ends are and Robert Quinn. You're going to see it all year long. That ball's coming out.
Yeah, it comes
That ball's coming out. Maybe this week, Palmer, they like to go deep a little bit. Maybe this is your best opportunity, but for the most part, that ball's going to be out by 3 seconds.
Right.
That's the pattern we're seeing.
And it's quick play action, balls out, or, and then you're going to have your edges. They're going to nudge your edges and, bang the ends.
And they did that on Robert yesterday.
Yeah, they did that. Yeah, that's why our tackles, we had 4 tackles had 4 sacks.
Right. 2 apiece inside. That does your heart good. That does your heart good.
Those are the sacks I love. Those hard ones where they're not pretty.
Right.
You fought through about 5 guys to get him, and you just got a piece of him, he goes down. Yeah. That's good stuff there.
Yeah, good.
Overall, though, pleased with the job you did on Frank Gore.
Yes, although I don't know if we talked last week, his carries are they're going, he went from 25 or 30 and the first time we played him to 20 to 19 to 16 to 13 to 13. I don't know what he had the other day, or yesterday, but for some reason they're not handing it to him. But when they handed it to him, we handled it. I thought we did a nice job in the run game.
What did you think of your special teams as a whole yesterday?
I thought we covered very, very well. We did some really good things, individual matchups. Obviously I was disappointed at the lack of execution on the fake punt, But hey, that's when you're gonna commit to those things, you're not going to be 100% over a course of a year, and from the standpoint of execution, because they're hard. And this is one that we let slip away. I don't know. It's too bad we didn't get the ball to Stead because
it was there.
It was there. Yeah,
it was there,
really there.
So penetration off the edge is what blew the play out.
Yeah.
What blew the play?
What blew it up? A guy just shot through there?
Both guys penetrated. We had to reach out for him. We thought that they would flatten out because Gio was running. They had no idea Gio was running. They were just rushing.
Yeah.
We thought instead coming by and then Gio taking the snap and Gio running, we thought they'd flatten out. And then Gio was just going to flip the ball to Stead back the other way. We had the wall set. And believe me, it was there.
Most times they would react the way you expected them to.
Yeah. They were not expecting
What was your mindset at that point, calling for the fake punt?
We had 6, maybe 7 first downs at the top of the fourth quarter. Did not get a pass interference call on first down to Tavon on the long ball there, and I needed to steal a possession, and I needed to flip the field position. That was it.
So if you hit it, yeah,
and if I knew the outcomes, we don't call things knowing they're not going to work. You know,
I said this: miracles were in the air. If you look at the Iron Bowl,
it
was out there.
I wasn't doing it because of what happened in the Iron Bowl. Doing it to try to win the ball game.
We will step aside. When we come back, we'll take some in-house questions. We'll also take your questions or comments via text and Twitter as well. Back in a moment on the Jeff Fisher Show on 101 ESPN and the St. Louis Rams Radio Network.
It's the end of an era.
All that spare change I used to get.
Sorry, I spilled Bud Light on you.
I wrote a song. Sorry. Here we go.
The crisp, refreshing taste of Bud Light. Here we go.
All right, welcome back. You fans come out. We give you a chance to ask the head coach directly a question here at Buffalo Wild Wings. We do it every week.
I know this guy. He's a coach.
You know Darnell?
Yeah.
Darnell, you're hitting leadoff here.
All right. My name is Darnell. I'm from Normandy. My question to Coach is, with Stedman Bailey setting all records at West Virginia, I was just wondering, is he having trouble adjusting to the NFL, and do you see him playing a more significant role on the team in the future?
Good question. He's not having any problems. No, he's picking things up well. Sometimes it takes young players time to get, in the flow of things. But if you've seen over the last couple of weeks, he's playing a lot more. He's on the field a lot more. Outstanding special teams player, and he's making tough catches for us, and so you'll see more of him.
Darnell, you're a coach at Normandy?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yep.
Congrats.
Good to have you here.
Keep it up.
Yeah. All right,
thanks for stepping in.
What's the best thing about Stedman Bailey to you? The thing you like the most?
Well, he's smart. He's a quick learner. He's got really good stop and start, change of directions, and the thing that impressed us the most, prior to the draft and the workout, is got really strong hands, arms. He's just very, very strong. Not very tall, but just exceptionally strong, and snatches the ball and real quick reaction time. Ball, he turn around, the ball's there, and boom, it's just like it's no big deal. Catch it.
Next up is Dennis. Good evening, Dennis.
Mr. Fisher, I was wondering, Clemens seems to be more of a team leader and seems to interact better with the players than Bradford did. A lot of times Bradford would go to the sidelines and kind of stand by himself. Is that something that's going to be learned, or does he not mix as well?
I think I disagree with you. I think Sam's a really good learner and leader, rather. Sam is going to, if you see him go to the sideline, he's right in what we call the Polaroids and the plays and the shots and the defense and the coverages and the adjustments. But Sam's good in the huddle and good on the practice field, and I think you see Kel's been so used to getting excited on the sideline because he's a backup, that he jumps up and down and high fives defensive players and special teams plays, that he's having a hard time letting go of that, But that's what you're seeing, as opposed to Sam, because Sam's just really focused in what he's doing.
Don't you think the enthusiasm helps though?
Oh yeah, we've said that all along since Sam got hurt, that Kel brings that enthusiasm to the locker room, the practice field, and playing field.
Thank you, Dennis.
Thank you.
While we're on the subject of Sam Bradford, we had a young lady that wanted. Yeah, I see you. Yeah, you got your hand up. We had a young lady that wanted an update on Sam Bradford.
His beard is becoming a little more full.
I think she means his knee or something.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he's doing fine. He's in every day, and he's working hard. His rehab's come along nicely. So.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Do you always have to defend quarterbacks? Is that normal for a head coach? Like everywhere you've been?
That's a heck of a question right there.
I'm never going to have a quarterback controversy.
Never?
Never.
Okay.
Now explain what you mean by that.
I'm just not going to have a quarterback controversy. You got to start and you got to back up, period. You know?
It's black and white.
Or if there's competition, then you name a starter and then there's a backup. Yeah.
Period.
See what's going on around the league. You know?
Yeah.
But for those.
And then what's the next thing that comes up after that? Inevitably, after the quarterback controversy. It's head coach's job security.
Yeah.
Right? It's just A, B, 1, 2.
Right.
That's how it is.
But you meant it's just the nature of fandom is that the quarterback is second guessed no matter what.
Oh, yeah.
Do you buy into the theory that the quarterback gets too much credit sometimes and too much blame?
Yes, I would accept that. Yeah, they do.
Interesting.
But I also will say it is a very difficult position to play. It is so hard, especially nowadays.
More difficult now than when you played?
Yes, yeah. There's so much more going on defensively than there was before. And now in the offense, in a lot of ways, has brought it on themselves, you know, because they're spreading everybody out, and, you know, and that's affecting, like we said earlier, the officiating. But yeah, there's a lot more going on, and there's, I mean, you know, you can lose a game real fast if you don't know what you're doing, or real fast.
All right, let's welcome in Ty. Good evening, Ty.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Pretty good. Coach, I listen to a lot of the national ESPN, NFL Network analysts talk about different teams, and it just doesn't seem like they give the Rams a whole lot of love.
That's okay.
And basically what I'm talking about, like when you guys played Seattle, you played a hell of a game, but you lost. But I thought you played an excellent game. But all they said was, well, what's wrong with Seattle?
Right.
The same way with the Colts. When you played the Colts, everybody said, well, what's wrong with the Colts?
Right.
Instead of congratulating you guys for the game you played, they're saying, what's wrong with the team you played?
Yeah, that's right. And the Bears, for that matter, too, same thing. The Bears didn't play well, and Bears can't stop the run, and that was all about them. But, yeah, there's a lot to that. That's okay. We'll turn that around. We'll change that. So it just, you know, you got to get in the playoffs a couple years in a row, and, you know, then the market changes. You know, I came from a small market and went to the AFC Championship game one year and had no Pro Bowlers.
Wow.
And it was 2-3 consecutive years, you know,
Yeah.
in playoffs. But AFC Championship game with no Pro Bowlers. So, and that's okay. We just, you know, we'll go make our own noise, have our own fun, just beat up on everybody.
Ty, thanks. Good question.
Thank you.
And be careful about those guys, too.
Who?
Those national guys.
Those national guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
They say things to say things.
Wait, do we qualify?
No.
Oh,
It's called job justification.
Yes.
Job justification.
Yes.
But see, that's what, if you don't get paid enough money, you don't feel like you have to justify your
Bang.
job, so you have a little
Right.
integrity about your job. That's how I rationalize
Yes.
it anyway. All right, let's take a question here from David in Lafayette, Indiana. Jeff, he wants to know, will we ever see video review implemented for personal foul calls?
I can't see it. There'll be a big push for it, but I can't see it right now. Just because then where do you stop? You know, where do you draw the line? You know, personal fouls or unnecessary roughness, and you know, late hits, or is it personal foul, a face mask? I mean, where do you stop?
Well, all scoring plays are reviewed. Maybe penalties that give the team a first down. You know how big that can be. Extend drives. If you've got the
Pretty soon you're reviewing every play, though.
Well, yeah, but let's
like
go.
a personal foul that gives you a
Okay, well, let's go back. Okay, let's look at yesterday, for example. They had 2 personal fouls after the play. They did. They had the one on the touchdown run. They had another one on a punt play where one of the guys punched Ray.
Yeah.
We had a personal foul right at the end of the game, which should have been called because the whistle didn't blow, where Cody Davis actually got Craig Dahl from behind right at the end.
Yeah.
So that's 3. Then we had the hit on the sideline. Then we had Joe Lon's hit. That's 5. There may have been one or two others, unnecessary roughness or personal foul. So you're talking about 6 or 7. So you're saying we're going to have 6 or 7 or 8 more replay reviews?
Be a 4-hour game.
4-hour game,
yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
It's American League Baseball.
And that's that's the rationale. I mean, replay was originally designed and created to correct the obvious error, overturn the obvious error. And each time you add something to replay, you have to get a vote. And replay has been voted in, and it's a part of our game. And if we start messing around with replay, some of the owners and stuff clubs are going to start eliminating, or voting against replay. So.
All right, Donnie asks about your fourth-round pick out of Alabama, Barrett Jones, the possibility of him playing center. How do you see Barrett? Where do you see Barrett in his future?
Barrett is, Barrett's background is he played tackle, played guard, and center. Otland Trophy, right, at tackle?
Yes.
Okay, so he's a good football player. He was hurt at the end of the year, had surgery. We rehabbed him, got him back for camp. He's done a great job in the weight room. He's changing his body. He's may get an opportunity here. With Scott being down, Barrett's been inactive all year. Barrett most likely will be active and backing up both center and guard.
And for a guy who is so ultra competitive, a 4-year starter, All-American at 2 different positions, a team leader down there, he must be chomping at the bit here to get his first action 13 weeks into the NFL.
Oh, there's no doubt. Yeah, I mean, he's got a very difficult thing to overcome, and I'm thinking he'll get through it in another day or two, and that's what happened Saturday night in the Iron Bowl. So,
all right. Well, you lead me in perfectly to
did it?
Jen. Yeah. Jen is setting you up here.
Okay.
But since you went there, you can handle this. Jen wants to know who will win the SEC championship game. We asked that of the father of an Auburn Tiger sitting here in Mizzou's backyard.
Oh, boy. Nice setup.
What a great story for
That's
both
too hot for me to
teams, huh? I mean, it's a great story for both teams. I mean, a turnaround for both teams.
0-8
I mean, how long
and 2-6.
How long has Mizzou been in the SEC?
2 years.
Year 2.
Yeah.
How impressive is that? I mean, that's a great job. It's a great program. And Auburn's turnaround was unbelievable this year. So who's going to win it? I don't know, but I will say this. I doubt it's going to be a 6-3 game.
I wouldn't imagine.
How's that for an answer?
Great answer.
Jen, I don't know if that's what Jen was looking for, but you don't always get what you're looking for. You get honesty from
You've
Jeff Fisher.
You've been at a press conference or two, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, Jen, I tried, okay? So we'll take a break. We'll come back. I got a couple more questions to get to, and we'll also preview the matchup this week against the Arizona Cardinals. That's next on the Jeff Fisher Show on 101 ESPN and the St. Louis Rams Radio Network.
It's the end of an era.
All that spare change I used to get.
Sorry, I spilled Bud Light on you.
I wrote a song. Sorry. Here we go.
The crisp, refreshing taste of Bud Light. Here we go.
Hey, welcome back. Final segment. We're going to look ahead to the matchup in Arizona against the Cardinals. Very good.
One question. I got one question for you.
You can have more than one.
This is the one that we were talking about, people were talking about. It was 23-6 in the fourth quarter, 4th and 11, 6:46 on the clock. People wondered why you didn't take the field goal in that instance.
Mm-hmm. Good question.
Yeah.
I had told Coach Schottenheimer as we started the drive, this was a two-play drive. In essence, what that means is you got 2 shots to convert the third down. And so we started the drive knowing that we needed a touchdown. And so our focus was on touchdown. In retrospect, if you kick the field goal and then you got to get your stop, then you got to get your score, and then you got to get your onside. We were running out of time at that point. And I really wanted to try to extend the play and get a touchdown at that point. So,
Paul, want to know about the you got such a young football team, the role that inexperience has played, and do you think that that's even a factor at this point? 12 games in, 13 weeks in.
Well, Yes and no. I think some of the younger guys are still seeing things for the first time. For example, it was mentioned several times during the week by me to make sure that you have the appropriate footing, the shoe wear, because when that sun goes down, that surface gets slick. And that sun started going down, and guess what we started doing? Slipping, okay? Young guys, all right? So
the Bolden play by the end zone you were talking about.
Yeah. So, those things now, it doesn't happen again, but, and I'm not going to go around the locker room and make sure everybody's, because everybody's wearing different shoes, but the bottom line is you can't slip. You can't play this game and slip, especially if you're a skilled player, a linebacker, defensive player, or receiver.
All right, here's a text question. We talked about Stedman Bailey earlier, but this fan wants to know, will he get more snaps on offense?
Yes, Collar should expect to see him get more snaps. Yeah, he's playing well. He's making plays. So
he's earned it. We need to say he's earned it.
Yes, he's earned it, and we need to get more snaps. Period on offense.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's look ahead here to the matchup with Arizona. We knew coming in, and we saw it in Week 1, that Arizona Cardinals would be much improved. They are. I know they're smarting over a tough loss yesterday, but what do you see from their football team? What's the biggest difference from last year to this year in that football team?
The quarterback play, clearly, Carson Palmer. Now, keep in mind, he got into the offseason program, went through preseason, and now starts in the opener. Okay, well, how many games ago was that? So, we had him in the opener. He's very comfortable in their offense. Bruce Arians is an outstanding coach, offensive coach. So he's got Carson that's comfortable in the offense, and Floyd is coming on. Fitz is healthy. They're starting to run the football. Looks like they've got a couple of their offensive linemen back. And so run, play action, and he's putting the ball down the field. The other side of the ball is where the most improvement, I think, has come from, because that defense is back up to 8th or 7th right now, and very good at the run. 4th, I think, in the league, in stopping the run. So then the special teams, you pick your poison, Peterson or Honey Badger. They can return now, and the little guy. He's playing very well at the corner spot too.
Honey Badger?
Yeah.
And Peterson always plays well at corner.
So, and they've really improved their defense. So it's I know they lost this week, but they ran 4 straight or something like that.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's going to be a good challenge for us.
Bruce, how much has the team changed from Week 1 until Week 14?
Well, you would. I don't know. You got 3 options, right? You either get better, get worse, or stay the same.
Yeah.
And I don't mean to be sarcastic, but I mean that's what happens. I think this team gets better. This team, with Carson, an experienced quarterback, is trying to make a legitimate playoff run.
It used to be that the Cardinals, and you mentioned running the football, that they were completely one-dimensional.
Yes.
I mean, and it preceded you in the NFC West. We watched for years, and we knew that the run game was going to be no factor. Mm-hmm. They're going to rush for about 60 yards a game, which would be almost dead last. But now that's changed.
Yes.
So what's changed? Is it just the running back, or the fact that they've improved their offensive line this year?
I think it's the offensive line. And I think, the quarterback understands, now how to get him in and out of things. That's a big deal, as far as the run game is concerned.
Bruce Arians certainly is developing a nice resume for himself with what he did stepping in as an interim coach,
yes,
becoming Coach of the Year last year in Indianapolis, and he's doing a nice job turning it around. What's his personality? Sounds like you have a lot of respect for him. What's his personality? What's his reputation in NFL coaching circles?
I've known him since he was the head coach at Temple.
Wow.
Yeah. Long
That's
time
going back.
ago. Yeah. He's always done well wherever he's been. Outstanding job with the Steelers as the coordinator there, and then of course, I thought when he left the Steelers that he was going to retire, and then all of a sudden he ends up in Indianapolis. I guess he and Chuck were friends and did a nice job there. So he's, he's very direct. He has high expectations, and expects his teams to play hard. And anytime he's had a quarterback, he's had success.
You respect that coaching style. How did you guys cross paths? Just chance meeting?
I had just started coaching with the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you were impressed right away with them?
Yeah. They had home games there. Yeah.
So this is going back a ways.
Yeah, it does. Goes
wow.
back a ways.
More than 20 years.
first thing you guys need to improve on? Go back to running the football and just staying on the field this Sunday?
Keep the offense on the field. Yeah, offense on the field. That's the big thing. We keep them on the field, defense off, and you stay on the field, you score points. And then, we got to get turnovers. That's the big thing. Get pressure the passer and get turnovers. And we got to get number 11 running in space.
Yeah.
Get him back in space.
Get him back in space.
Ray was right there on the fumble. He was right there. Bounced off him, didn't it?
Did exactly what he was coached to do, just go in there and blow it up. And he did, and the ball rolled out, and they got it.
Wow.
The one thing, though, Jeff, and talking about the turnovers, immense respect for Carson Palmer, big-time guy, but in his history, he will throw the interception. So maybe some opportunities this week. He had 2 last week along with 3 touchdowns. That's kind of his MO.
Yeah, we're hoping for that, and that's all going to start with our pass rush.
Jeff, go get him. We appreciate it. Thank you very much. I'm going to hand to the Rams head coach, Jeff Fisher.
We're not the national guys. He likes us.
Well, as far as we know. Do you think he really tell us otherwise?
Yeah, well.
Knowing him, he probably would. The national guys. All right, so we're going to go to the desert and win a football game.
Yeah, man. Here we go again. It's good to see you, brother.
Good to see you, too.
Was your Thanksgiving good?
It was good.
Good.
Everybody here have a good Thanksgiving?
Absolutely.
We appreciate it. We're happy you come out. And, again, it's nice that Jeff Fisher, there's no filters, there's no nothing. You can ask him anything, and he'll take your questions or comments every week. So we'll do it again next Monday night. Hopefully it's a Victory Monday. Cardinals and Rams this Sunday from the desert. Thanks for tuning in. This has been the Jeff Fisher Show on 101 ESPN and the St. Louis Rams Radio Network.